Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Thursday the 22nd of May. This video is an educational video only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is only to show or demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis. And let's get cracking here. We had a bearish day on the US market yesterday, more or less across the board. And also here Apple, we can see Apple a couple of about a week ago got rejected here at 213.32 resistance. This gap area couldn't close it, spiked above a little bit, and also the 55 moving average declining was also dragging it lower. We can also see here a few weeks ago the 100 crossed below the 200 moving average. And they're both declining, so that is not really a bullish sign to say the least. So I think we'll see lower levels on Apple in the coming days and weeks. Also, RSI never closed above 60 threshold, so it's still in a negative sentiment, and there's actually no divergence on these lows over here, indicating we could see even lower lows on Apple. If it RSI closes the day below 40 threshold, well, then it will further confirm downtrend. On the broader index and S&P 500, and let's zoom in here. And yeah, about 1.6 lower yesterday. We did talk about it could be in for a little bit of a correction. There will now be some support here at 5,783. The positive sentiment on the RSI is still in play, and there was no divergence as I can see here, so indicating after correction maybe we could try to crawl higher towards 6,000, but it will be quite fragile, this uptrend here. But let's see what happens at 5,703. If it closes below, well, then we're looking at 5,695. Pre-market, really not much to say. Hang on, sorry. Let's just jump back. We have some support here at 5,786 on the US 500 CFD. Nasdaq 100, a third, 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 4 or 5 days in a row, more or less, rejected at the 21,454. And now we have a little bit of support here, 20,818 and 20,613. And the strong one is at 20,292. We could test it all the way down to there, but if it does that and closes below, well, then we have a different situation. Then we could turn into a bearish mode. Here pre-market, we can see, well, a little bit of correction also going on there. We could see from the latest uptrend here, a latest move up there, the 61.8 retracement, 20,315. If we take from the entire uptrend, well, it's all the way down there, so look out for that is the key support right there. The Dow Jones almost 2% lower, closed below support here at 41,900. If it closes, if it moves below and also takes out that candle there at 41,777, it could try to close all the way down to 41,382, maybe even down to around 41,000. So let's see how that will play out the next few days. In Asia, well, we still have Seng in a bullish trend, but let's check, and this is what you can do also. You can check, well, is there divergence or not. We can see that's the value over here at 66.64, and what about this one, 64.82, meaning we do have divergence. So you can then draw a trend line and say, okay, it is actually declining, whereas the market moved higher. So there now we have divergence. Uptrend is stretched despite the fact that we got above the 786 retracement. I think we could also see a setback here in the next few days, possibly down to around 23,000. Just very quickly on Nikkei, sell off this morning, or sell off, but lower this morning, 36,570. We have some support there, and also down just below 36,000. That could be tested here over the next few days. European session yesterday, well, the EuroStoxx50 closed more or less unchanged, fairly little activity at least, and I think we could see a correction maybe, but let's see here on the pre-market. We could see in the aftermarket here is the EU50 CFD/future that dropped in the after normal trading session, bouncing a little bit here, but we could also be in for a correction. Support of 5,313, and the 55 and the 100 moving average in this region here, just around 5,250, will give some support. However, we also have some support here at these lows here. They're not the strongest ones, to be honest, though. 5,200. The DAX index also a bit stretched. However, there's no divergence on the RSI. You see the new high here on the RSI and also new high here on the market. But that doesn't mean we can't get a correction, and I think we'll get that in the coming days. We can also see here aftermarket it also dropped lower here on the futures and the CFD, GR 40 CFD. Support at 23,326. As long as we stay above that, then we are still in a bullish trend. Euro dollar crawling higher towards the resistance and the retracement at 61.8 retracement here. 113.80 resistance if it does close above that, and if RSI closes above 60 threshold, well, then expect a new push up towards the previous peak and most likely higher. But for now, look out for that resistance there. Sterling dollar spiked yesterday above its previous peak there. I think it will continue eventually, but maybe expect a little bit of a setback. We can see that the RSI actually is back above 60 threshold, indicating likely higher levels. And to demolish this potential bullish picture, it needs to close back below the 131.40. Euro sterling has bounced somewhat, but has some resistance here around 84.65 and the 55 moving average. But it's rising, and the 100 moving average is also rising, so it could bounce further, possibly up to around 85.25. However, if it takes out the lows here from a few days ago, from last week at 83.85, then I expect to sell off down to around 83. Dollar yen keeps sliding lower, and it's now below the 786 retracement, moving towards 142.5. 142 level, where there's some support. Let's see what also happens with the RSI here at the 40 threshold here, possibly today, but in the coming days, before the weekend, possibly could test this area here. We could then maybe, if it bounces off, we can also see a minor dollar yen bounce, and then I think we'll see the next push low. We can see all moving average declining, 100 broken below the 200. They're both declining. That is a bit of a bear signal. Not the strongest one though, but still. The euro yen also sliding lower, and currently around the 55 moving average. We could see it down to around 161 support area here. And we have the cloud support, we have the 200 moving average, we have the 100 moving average. So there'll be some strong support down here. If it can bounce and take out the peak actually from today at 163.45, then we are looking at 165 again. But I think that is not very likely. Aussie yen back below the trend line here. It was just a brief break. I couldn't get above it in 95.75, and seems to be sliding lower here. It's sliding lower. 91.98, so around 92. There's some support here at the 38.2 retracement, not the strong one really. We have a little bit of cloud support there. So, but the really strong support is down here at 90.60, around that level, where we have a really strong support. Also keep an eye on what's going on with the RSI. Closes below 40 threshold, then we have a negative sentiment, because for now it's still positive sentiment. The sterling yen also lower, and I think we'll see it hitting and testing the 786 retracement and the 100 and the 55 moving average here, just around 191.60, 65. We still have Aussie dollar trading sideways, but in a more and more narrow range. What we could do, say, okay, is there a bit of a triangle-like pattern developing here? It's not that clear, but nevertheless, we have something going on there. And breakout direction could tell us breakout could tell us the direction. Support here at 63.40 could be tested, but the 55 to 100 moving average coming up, still positive sentiment, but it is really struggling to really take off from the 200 moving average, kind of holding it down here. The dollar Canada dipped lower yesterday to the 786 retracement, just a few pips from it at 138 and a change. I think it will have another go at it, and also RSI if it closes back below 40 threshold. It is already showing negative sentiment. If it closes back below 40 threshold, it will further confirm that, and then I think we'll see a test of the lows here around 137.5. Sterling Canada struggling for momentum, setting back a little bit, could set down to around the 185. But if it takes out the spikes here from yesterday and earlier this week at 186.95, then I think we'll see it up to around 188, possibly higher. We have Euro Swiss dip lower yesterday below 93.25, 93.25, yes, and the 786 retracement. Key support here at 92, just below 93, 92, 97. If it breaks below that, and I don't think we will need a close below, but if we get a close below, it's even stronger, and then I think we'll see the previous lows here around 92.20 being tested. Dollar Swiss support just around 82, very close to be tested yesterday. If it takes it out, and if RSI closes back below 40 threshold, then I think we will see a retest of the lows here, or the test here of the lows here at 80 spot 40. So keep an eye on those levels, and we could see a bit of a bounce there, but then I think we'll see the next wave of selling. The dollar index testing the 61.8 retracement 99.26. If it breaks below, it actually dipped a little bit below yesterday, but we have some stronger support here at 98.68, also around the 786 retracement. We have a resumed bearish trend. There are still negative sentiment. There's no divergence. You can see this low here was also low here. So if RSI closed back below 40 threshold, expect lower levels on the dollar index. Gold pushing higher now today above the 61.8 retracement. I think we could see a test of the 786 retracement at 3,368 fairly shortly, and especially if RSI closes back above 60 threshold, already broken above its falling trend line there, so it's a sign that it will most likely also push back and close above 60 threshold. If it does, and if it closes above the 786 retracement here at 3,368, then I think we'll see a push towards 3,500 once again. The silver tested this early morning the 33.70 resistance. If it can really break above and keep itself above, and RSI can close back above 60 threshold, then expect to push up towards 35 level. This area here, we can use that as an energy, so it's like down here, and then a 34.46 is the 138.2 projection, but up to around 35 is in the cards. The copper really struggling still, just sideways at 481 and 449 here to the downside. So that's the range it needs to break out, and the RSI needs to close above 60 threshold for a bullish picture. WTI, well, I think we could see a test of this minor support here at 60 spot 47. If it breaks below, then I think we'll see selling pressure accelerate and negative sentiment on the RSI, despite this showing some divergence. What we can actually do, we can draw a trend line on these lows here, and then we can see maybe the RSI will test that trend line and test the 40 threshold. So this is the support, minor support to keep an eye on. Rejected at 55 moving average. So it's really not that strong in the bounce here. Brent crude oil 63.44. If it does close below, well, then we have back in bearish trend with a push down possibly to the 58.5 again. On the European gas, TTF gas here spiked above the 55 moving average. RSI didn't close above 60 threshold, tested it just about, and could drop back into the range that it traded in here between 36 and 34. So let's see, it is a support now here. If it takes out the spike up from yesterday at 37.82, well, then we could see a push up to 38, possibly up to around 40. And the US nat gas, well, a lot of volatility after a bounce, and we could see the downtrend to resume if it takes out the lows here from a few days ago. But let's just see, did it hit a Fibonacci retracement just almost up to the 61.8. However, look at the 55 breaking below the 100 moving average. They're both declining, and I think we'll see it being boxed in here between 3.75 and $3. US 10-year Treasury yield propelled higher yesterday, about 4.55. Resistance closed above. Next one is 4.65, and I think it will be tested fairly shortly. So we are in a bullish trend here on the US 10-year Treasury yield, both here on the daily, higher highs and higher lows. Also on the weekly, if weekly RSI close back above 60 threshold, well, then expect a push towards previous peaks, especially here around 475, 480, some strong resistance, because that's where the sell-off really hit here earlier this year. If it takes out that, well, then we are looking at 5%. The 2-year also jumped a little bit, but is still below 4.03, testing the 4%. If we're looking at the European yields, we have the EU 10-year here that is also pushed higher yesterday. If it just takes out 271 here, that is a strong resistance, then there's potential up to around 280, 83 on that one. So that is a really key resistance level. The UK 10-year very close to test the resistance here at 480. That's a little bit of a struggle, could be for it, and but if it closes above 480, 481, then we could see it towards 5%, and we won't be happy about that. And finally, on cryptos, we have Bitcoin, new all-time high, spiked just up to, and let's see, did it get above 112,000? No, just below 111,900, but we are in a bullish trend, and there could be further upside potential for Bitcoin. I have tried to project it higher and see, okay, where are we going to move to? So if we take this V-shaped, V-like shaped correction phase here, and projected higher, well, then we are looking at levels around 122,845, possibly. So let's see about that. As long as we stay above 100,000, then that is the scenario that could play out. The Ethereum is really lacking, and it needs to get back above 2,740 to push higher towards 3,000 and 3,100, where we have some a little bit of resistance here at 3,067. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you again later.